Hi guys, and welcome back here to the Dev Realm. And today we carry on our amazing series of the TCG trading card game that we're building. And today we are gonna start to build our card design. As you can see, our design is very basic. We could do the whole game with this, but I want to make sure that we have a crispy UI from the beginning to the end. So right now, what I would like to do here is that I want to start to bring the designs that I had built in ChatGPT into my vector so I can bring it to Unreal. All right. So the way I am going to also, one thing I forgot that I did here on the offline is that just go ahead in the TCG game, create a new folder called fonts, and then every single font that is inside this Changa 1 Cinzel, import it to your game right here. The way you import the font is literally just drag and drop the true type font to here, and then it will just import the font for you. All right. If you have any issues with this, just let me know, but it's quite simple. Anyway, so I created a new folder called texture where I'm going to keep my textures for my widgets. And now, if you go back to that tutorial TCG folder that you have, let's go ahead and open up the back end, the back of the card. So the back is what is actually, the design. So this is what I have as designed, and I use AI, just in case you guys wonder. So I use ChatGPT to generate for me, and I use Vectorize to create the vectors. Unfortunately, Vectorize is paid, so you will have to pay a license to use this. But you can. I really recommend using this AI. It's really good. And I try to use free AIs, but they always come up with weird, unfortunately, outcomes. And so the problem with this is that we have to clean up. We need to make sure that we remove this. We need to make sure that we remove that, and so on and so forth. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to select this, or just Control A. No, I don't want to do that. Nope. I just want to select everything here. I am going to group, and then I'm going to get this and copy. The reason, guys, why I'm showing this Inkscape workflow is that because some people, sometimes they don't know how do we manage to get the design from a vector to a game. And basically that's how you do it. Like, you design on a vector. And right now I'm going to ungroup my design. I'm going to clean up this. Unfortunately, as I said, I use ChatGPT to do this. So I have to do some hacky things to get this working properly. So I'm going to get the color, and I'm just going to draw, I'm going to draw a shape on top of it. I'm going to go back here to fill and stroke. I'm going to remove the, no, I want to give the fill, but the stroke, I want to take it out. You see, a designer probably will kill me. A guy will like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this stuff? But we need to work with what I have. And unfortunately, I'm not a very good designer. So I'm just going to come up with a very quick and patch solution, which is just do this. I'm just hiding all the text by hand. All right. Here as well, right? And here as well, I have to do the same. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to save this file. And here I'm going to press S. I'm going to get this color. And then I'm going to draw a new shape on top of this, right? I'm going to put it right here. And the same thing here. I'm going to get this color, not that, sorry. I can duplicate that, I guess. And I am going to get this color, draw here, put it here. That's it. Look at that. We have an empty card. All right. I know it's a little bit of a Frankenstein, but that's fine. So here is the type of the card, the name of the card, how much it costs, and then this is going to be if it's magic or shield. We also need, actually, I probably would need a different version. I'm just gonna, can I move everything? Sorry, I'm just gonna copy this whole card. I'm gonna copy and paste it here, right? Because I want to make sure this is safe, right? And I'm gonna group it just so I don't lose this design. Now, what I would like to do here, guys, is that I'm gonna do something very, let's say, different, which is I'm gonna get this shield color here. I'm gonna group it, and I am gonna move it here. The same for this. Sorry. I'm gonna move it. I'm gonna group it, and I'm gonna move it right here. I am gonna now create a new version, and I'm gonna maybe paint it blue or like this dark blue, you know, something around this line. So now what I can actually do here is that I can actually now just delete this because I don't care about this 4. I don't care about those. No, oh, I just want to delete that. Why is not deleting? Hope I didn't delete anything else on the card, which I don't think I did, but that's okay. Now what happened is that we have a blank value. So it costs like energy or not, you know, like we have a blank canvas that we can work here. Now, I will have to place the image on top of this, but that's fine. I don't care about this right now because we have the icons and that's it. So now that we have the base of our card, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all this. I'm just going to group it so I can select it back. And now I'm going to hold Control-Shift-E. And now I am going to select a place to export. And if you guys notice, in the folder, sorry, downloads, here, tutorial TCG, I'm going to put here the back game ready. And I'm going to add here T dash because Unreal Engine really likes to use the T as a texture, right? Now, I noticed I did a mistake. It doesn't have a high quality, unfortunately. So let's go back here to Inkscape. Let's just select, we have a DPI. I like to use high DPI. I know it seems a little bit absurd, but I really hate to get to a point where in the game, you know, everything's beautiful, but you have one pixelated thing. So right now, look at how much I can zoom on this, you know. I'm not saying you're gonna do it, but this is like almost a 4K resolution. So it's good. We can work with this. Nice. So now let's go back to Unreal, right? And let me open up here. Now, the way you drag and drop this stuff, you know, the way you import it, just drag here, drop it right there, and that's it. Everything it's imported here. You can even open up and see how it looks like. And you see, not bad. Looks quite cool, actually. To be honest, ChatGPT really did a great job creating this design for us. Of course, then normally I would buy an asset that's ready for this, or actually try to build my own. But this looks quite cool. Now let's close everything. Let's open up here our card. And let's see how can we actually build this. Right, so our cards, I notice that I have a border within a border. Now, let's try to remove this border, replace with child. And now the gray one, this is where we have the card structure. Let's try to add here. And let's edit a white color, so it goes back to whatever it was normal. Compile and save. Let's see how it looks like. Look, it doesn't look that bad. It doesn't look that bad at all. But I think I would like maybe a little bit big. Let's try maybe, I don't know, 300. No, 250 is fine. But let's try maybe 200 by 300. How would that look like? Let's see. Oh yes, of course. Now I have to change this. So this needs to be 200 by 300. Okay. Now, there's a couple of things we have to update. First of all, if I go back to my TCG card game, and you go back to your graph, there's a couple of things you have to keep in mind when you plan those changes, which is the first of all, the card height. Our card height now is 300, all right? So we need to take that in consideration. So now if I press play, it's better. You see, more readable, a nice card, and we keep adding new cards, and you know, it looks really cool actually. I really like this. I started to enjoy this a little bit more. And as you can see, it's one change we did, man. It's just one little thing we did. It makes the whole card different. It looks amazing already, right? Right, so now what I'm gonna do here is that I am gonna remove this vertical box and I'm gonna add a canvas inside this box, a canvas. And then you're asking, why are you adding a canvas there, Mario? What is the usability of a canvas? Within the canvas, I can do things like this. I get the text within the canvas and I can bring it whatever I want. So if I press play now, the canvas will be exactly where I want it to be. This, it's very valuable when you're building a very, let's say, specified UI, because now what I can do here is that I can start to align things. For example, let's start by choosing the font that we want. So, compile and save. That doesn't look like a good font. I'm not sure why. Why is it not bringing the right font? Okay. I'm really not sure what font is the best. I just found like the one I wanted to import. So maybe we can try to bring some designs here and see which one it looks better, right? Let's try maybe the medium one. Anyway, let's not focus too much on this. So let's go back to our design and see what's the original color. So this original color is like a little bit of a, I don't know how to say this color, but it's a little bit of a, this RGB color here, right? Or hex. Do we have the hex color? Not sure what is the hex color, but I'm sure I can work out with this. So let's go back to that. And let's put, let's say the number 2, right? Because of what it was, number 2. Now I am going to make sure size to content, so it's always the same size. Or actually leave it like this for now. Now the color, let's put the hex RGB, looks better. Now, do we need to add any border? Yes. So you see that in the design, it's something called, it's like a bold font. Like we have Cinzel bold. Maybe we can try that. Bold. There we go. It looks better already. Nice. Now, I am going to wrap this with a scale box because I want to make sure that the scale, you know, this is always up to the size. I want to make sure that this has a tiny size. So I'm going to put it here, right? Now let's design this a little bit better. So now we have 2, so it's almost there. As you can see, I don't have the right tools that ChatGPT generated, but I don't care. It's just, you know, it doesn't make a difference for us. So now if I press play, look at that, guys. Like this is really like, it's one thing that we added and is making a massive difference to our card. Right. I'm very excited about this. As you can see, this is like a very cool thing for me to do as well. It's like something that get myself a little bit out of my, you know, comfort zone. I'm not in my comfort zone when I'm doing this stuff because it's something that, you know, like tutorials related to inventory and things like this, I've been doing for years, but this is something that I'm doing for the first time. Right, I'm having a little bit of an alignment problem. I am not sure why, but at this point, I just gonna do, like, I'm gonna make sure it fills the whole square. And in here, can we choose to justify vertically? Maybe you can do that. And then this, let's see how it's gonna look like. All right, it doesn't look too bad. We can always refactor this. Right, now that we have this, I am gonna copy and paste, and I'm gonna drag and drop this guy right here. All right. Now this, of course, I will give the name. So this is gonna be the title scale box. This is gonna be the mana, or let's say required points scale box, right? Now this title, I am gonna anchor right there. And in the design, how do we call here? We just call name. Okay. ChatGPT just added a name for us. So here it's gonna be called name. Now this is too small. I don't like this. It's too small. So I'm gonna add it right here. And so we're gonna add it maybe like here. All right. Now it's using a bold as well, but I think it doesn't look as bad. Do we have something like a curve? I'm pretty sure we had something like a curve thing, but or like an arch. Anyway, it doesn't shear. Maybe not that. Angle. Not that. Scale rotation. I'm sure you can do it. I just don't remember how to do it. But anyway, now let's see if we can actually maybe find a better font. So maybe one that doesn't require it. I mean, that looks good. Looks fine. Okay, so now what happens if we have, like, let's say, I don't know, last hero. So that looks quite messy, right? You see, it doesn't look very great. It's coming outside that. So what we're going to do here is that maybe I can try to squeeze in like here, also on that side and here, right? Let's see. So last hero. Or we can try to have like a, I don't know, fireball or something, you know? So it's always like a nice name, fireball. And also, I think maybe center would be the best. I prefer to keep the title on the center. 2, fireball. Look at this. Looks good. Looks good. Now, we could leave this area for a little description, which we don't have. I think in the description, like, I'm not sure if in the tutorial, like, yeah, it does have a little description. That's okay. Nice. Now, what we're going to do next is then we need to give this type of the card. So I'm going to copy and paste. And I'm going to call type scale box. All right. Now this is going to be anchored right on the middle of the screen. Alignment 0 and 0. That's fine. Now I'm just going to manually move it to where I want, which is something like here, right? Now this, you probably will say magic, right? I'm not sure why he put magic as green, but that's okay. Now let's copy this column. Right. We're going to come here. We are going to add the color right now, magic. Press OK. And I think that's okay. Now, you can actually add a border, but I'm gonna leave it like this. Also, this, I think it needs to use the bold version. I'm not sure which one is the best, but that looks quite cool. Yeah. Bold version. But anyway, guys, feel free to use your own fonts as well. Okay. Nice. Now, what do we have to do next? So let's see how this looks. I think it looks quite cool. Actually, it looks really, really nice already. Now we're gonna add the counters, right? So like magic or damage, or I don't know how that information is gonna look like. But before that, let's just add another one, which is gonna be, oh, not that. Copy and paste. I want this to be the description of the card. So this is gonna be here. And that's gonna go right there. Nice. So now this, I would like the size of the font. So instead of 32, like 12, you know. and this is gonna be, you know, like yeah, like deal 3 of damage, you know. And now we can change this color to be, I don't know, I think this, I'm just gonna actually picked up the color that we had from here before because it looks better. 3 of no damage. Nice, deals 3 points of damage. Now what I also would like to do, maybe add some distance from the top like this. All right, compile and save. All right, now I would like to change this to maybe, I don't know, like a different kind of font. That looks good actually. Which one is that? It's the italic one. So I would like to use this for that. Yeah, you know, maybe it doesn't look that great, but it doesn't matter at this point. It's fun. It's fun to have. Let's leave it. Now, before we carry on to the next part, which is going to be the icons and all that stuff, let's create here the icon for this. Let's build the widget that will go here. So for this one, I would like to build a widget instead of adding the icon right now. So right now, you guys can notice that I have separate the icons here, right? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do an export, and this is gonna be, let's say, t dash damage. This is gonna be another one for t dash shield, and now here we're gonna have another one which is gonna be t dash mana. All right, or yeah, could be mana, doesn't matter. I'm sure we will be changing those in the future. Now, not here. Now where we added this the border here, I'm just gonna go and I'm gonna drag and drop those icons that we created back here. All right, and we're gonna save it all, and that's it. Now I'm gonna bring one because I would like to figure out the size of this. So for example, I'm not gonna care about where is gonna be the position of this, whatever. I just want to know what is the size that I can work with it, because it needs to perfectly fit this shield. I mean, perfectly maybe is a big word, but we can make it sure it covers a little bit. So it needs to be something around those lines. All right. So I would say maybe 32 by 32. I don't know, or maybe 35. Sure, 35 looks good. So 32 by 35, right? So now what we can actually do here, I don't know why it's doing this funny, but it's fine. It's better to control here than that. What I would like to do here is that I am going to go, where's the widget? Right click. And now I'm going to create a new widget. And this time it's going to be a widget blueprint, user widget, and we're going to call this WBP card. How can you call this? Meters, requirements, or requirements. Sure, card requirements. Now, what I'm going to do is that I am going to add a scale box first. I'm going to add a border. This border, it's going to be my icon that I just added, right? Here. Add that. Now, remember, design screen, we want to make sure it's 32 by 35, which is the size that we came up with this properly. Now, this needs to be scale box, no, sorry. Can I replace with a, I need to size box. I'm gonna replace with child. I would like to wrap with a size box. There you go, size box. Override, make sure it's 32 by 35. So it's always consistent on the screen, no matter what. Now, I am gonna get this text. I'm just lazy. I'm just gonna copy this, and I'm gonna go back here and paste it because I can't be bothered to find exactly the same things. Now, look how cool is this thing. We can delete the stuff, right? I can drag and drop this requirement here, right? I can drag and drop inside the canvas. And I'm not sure why the size didn't go properly, but I don't care because I can just do 32 by 35. I already know the size. It doesn't matter. Now, look at this, guys. We got our widget in place. Now, of course, it's just a question of where do you want to anchor. I usually anchor this on there. And that sounds pretty good, actually. Now, this is going to be requirement, card requirement left. And then card requirement right. Okay. Now, this is going to be gone on the right. 0. And well, I'm not sure. I'm just going to manually drag it down. And then I will align it there. Okay. Compile and save. Now we're going to press play. And look at that. We pretty much have a card. This is really, really nice. Like, I'm very impressed with this because we just started and we have a card. That looks really good. It looks quite nice. Actually, it does look like a trading card game, which is fantastic. Of course, now that we have a big problem that we have to manage, we still have to put the icon there. So, for example, what I can do here, right? And I just want to show you guys my process a little bit. So, on ChatGPT, what I'm going to do here, if you want to do this, feel free to do it. I'm using the free version, by the way. I'm going to upload the image, right? I'm going to go to downloads. I'm going to go to the tutorial, and I'm going to upload the back. Okay. And I'm going to say, so based on this TCG card game I am creating for my game, can you please create a variable illustration that I can use on this card, please? It needs to be in 2D, flat, and vectorized. Vector. Please be colorful. Lots of orange and a nice cartoon fire effect. Let's see. I did some actually mistakes in my spelling, but ignore that. So let's see. So what ChatGPT is going to do now is going to use that information that we have from the card that he generated for us. And now this is going to take a process to load. And this is, guys, I know this, it may sound like, I just wanted to show how is the workflow that we have. Okay. Fireball, unfortunately, wasn't be able to create this issue. Looks like the okay. Can you create the fire again? Let's see. This is the problem of using a free plan. Sometimes it doesn't like. But anyway, while it runs, I'm going to prepare this. So I'm going to go back here to the folder. Put it here. And I'm going to open up here TCG. And let's see what ChatGPT is actually working on. Come on, ChatGPT. All right, guys, so I'm back. And basically, I'm not sure why ChatGPT took so long to generate it. I do have a free plan, so it may be that. But basically, it created kind of a nice image, actually. It didn't create a bad one. So I am going to show you my process and how I edit this. Hopefully, it will make you guys, your creative life a little bit better. So I'm going to load the image. I am going to save it so you guys have it later because I'm building this folder on the fly. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to paste it and I'm going to call this fireball icon. All right. Now I'm going to go back to this vectorize AI. By the way, you don't have to do this. I just explain how I do it. How do I transform that image into a vector? If you have Adobe Illustrator, I believe it does that automatically. But unfortunately, I don't pay for Adobe. But anyway, so now I have the image. I can download it. And that's it. That's everything done. Everything that I wanted is here. So I can copy that. And I'm going to go back and paste it here. I'm going to open up now on Inkscape. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to transform this into a usable image. By usable, I mean, I'm going to delete the background and that's it. That's all you got to do. Like, I don't have anything else to do on this image. It looks perfect. Of course you can, try to create your own style. But I really think this is quite cool. It's not the best image ever, but it works for our purpose. Now we save it down, which is fantastic. Now we have a fireball, T-fireball. Now I'm going to go back to Unreal and I'm just going to do the importing of this, right? Look at that. Cool. This is really good. Got an image. Nothing complicated. Now, all you got to do, guys, is literally you just need to drag and drop this image on the canvas, right? And now we just need to figure out how we're going to use this, right? Like, I'm not entirely sure, but basically what I can do here is that anchor this image. The size, I don't know, maybe 250, that's too much. 150 by 300 or by 100 or by, yeah, that looks, actually, you know what? Let's wrap this with a scale box and let's try to make the scale fit what we want. You see? If I compile and save, it does, I mean, it doesn't look crumbled, does it? Yeah. It looks okay. Doesn't look, it could look a little bit better, I think, because it could look a little bit more. But this is like what the ChatGPT image did for us. And like, for example, like now, if you want to create the ice version of this, you just need to change the blue, and that's it. That's all you gotta do. So as you can see, we done. Like, we have a card. We have a very nice card, right? Now, for this tutorial, I'm probably gonna create a couple of 3 attacks, 3 magic and 3 potion cards or something like that, and then we can start to bring those icons here or something. So I'm gonna have 3 of each, so 3 magic, so this is magic, 3 normal attack cards. I'm gonna have 3 healing cards, which is gonna be the defense, and that's it. And then after we can bring them all and start to do the logic. So once again, guys, thank you very much for watching. I understand that this video got very long and get some parts where I probably went a little bit overboard, but I just want to share that this is starting to be very nice. And I would like to basically, in the next one, started to add our card structure to the game. Once again, see you guys in the next one.